What I want to do is I want to pull up some of these Diablo 4 forum posts. I kind of want to talk about some of them and just go through them. Because I think, like, other than Reddit and the forums, I think this is a really good place to kind of get into the eyes of the players and, like, what they're talking about. And, like, there's, like, a collective general standpoint on Diablo. From what I've seen, the general consensus, especially a lot of people who put in tons of hours and have just, like, played the crap out of Diablo 4, is anything above 70. Like, you can get to, like, 70 and 80, 70 to 80, and it just feels good. Like, you're like, damn, like, this feels good, World Tier 4. You know, I'm shredding, I'm getting better gear, I'm getting my Ancestrals. And then 80 plus, like, once you have your full build together and everything, you're starting to feel like there's not a lot to do. There is the goal of getting to Uber Lilith and trying to push higher Nightmare dungeons for better glyphs. But right now, there's no point. There's nothing else to do. And there's, like, just a general lot of things you need to work on, whether it be mounts. Some of the classes need reworks, like Necromancer minions are just atrocious. They need better scaling. Their survivability above 80 is just, they get shredded, even with Paragon allocation and different types of aspects. There's been, which they did fix, the Druid was dropping Barbarian Uniques, which they did fix that recently, so that was a good fix. I think dungeons and events, like events in the world, in general need some kind of rework, just because some of them feel more like a chore than they do a challenge, whether it be just spawning 3 enemies at a time or slay all the enemies in the dungeon and you have to run all the way to the beginning because you forgot one little mob that was like hiding behind a wall. I agree with all that, and I know a lot of the other creators, I have seen some of their videos, they talk around these same points. I just want to express that I do agree with them. I think that these are some things that need to be worked on. But if we go through these forum posts, they're talking about different stuff, like what needs nerfs and like item level drops, and like, for example, like Kosov here, like they're doing posts like, I think it's money worth. However, as a traditional MMO player, the idea of starting from scratch at the beginning of a season just to experience the new mechanics mob battle pass has killed any progress for, like, I'm not even gonna keep reading this one because this, you know, this person came from an MMO. So ARPGs they've been designed like this for a while, to have a restart at the seasons, and that's how the Diablos before this have been. So it's just the way the game is played. Why do maintenance in the middle of the day? It's a global game, so I'm sure they're doing maintenance during the slowest parts of the day. Single player games, self aspect. I don't know. So this is my take on this though. Like so what Cloud9 here says, why not when everyone is sleeping? The game has been laggy and DC's often since launch, so maybe they'll fix it. Probably just a micro shop update. This is my stance on live server maintenance. I think the live server maintenance has just been, it's been good if you're a regular, if you're just regular Diablo players, it's good, it's fine. If you're enjoying hardcore, which, you know, majority of the player base is not playing hardcore, but the thing with the way that it's set up to do live server, especially during the first 1,000 players to 100 challenge for hardcore, live server maintenance was just atrocious. Like, there's so many DCs and so many people lagging and getting killed, and there was just so many unnecessary deaths that were probably caused by this live server maintenance, which it's so easy. Whatever kind of hotfix you need to do, just take the game down for an hour, especially if you're doing some type of race challenge when there's tons of people trying to get in it. And then there's also people who can't dedicate like 12 to 16 hours a day playing Diablo. They can maybe only play like 6 to 8, if that, if not less, and they're still trying to go for it. And then imagine putting in that much time for a couple weeks and then you get DC deathed. And then there's all these people like content creators and different people who are sponsored by the game who have tons of hours on end to play it every single day of the week nonstop to get the challenge done. I just think that preventing as much DCs, especially during that challenge was running, was just bad. I think it was just bad organization on the challenge in my part, and that's just my opinion on it. You might disagree, but that's just how I feel about that. But for this maintenance though, I don't know. Live server maintenance, as a hardcore player, I think it's atrocious, but not everyone's a hardcore player, so we're not just going to go off of that. And hardcore gaming in general, everyone has to deal with DCs. In any game, whether it's hardcore WoW, hardcore Diablo, PoE, there's types of disconnect protection, which is something that they are developing and talking about, like the Scroll of Escape they talked about in the campsite chat, or the campfire chat, that the Scroll of Escape will pop when you DC. If the game detects a DC, whatever they're going to put in place to detect a disconnect, I don't know how it's going to work. But hardcore gaming in general, one life, death equals delete gaming, has always dealt with the plague of disconnects. It's just part of the game, and you just go again. But again, we can't base the decision only off of the hardcore player base, which I feel like hardcore player base has been growing a lot. But again, it's not the only people that play this game. So we can't fully base our decision off of that. Hi, Rixis says, basically what the title says, I hit 60 on my Necro and it is feeling like an absolute slog to get to a single level after that. Not complaining, I just think the XP gains need to be tweaked just a little bit to make it feel like you're actually progress towards that sweet, sweet level 100. Yeah, Nightmare Dungeons are going to get buffed, this is true. Posted this 8 hours ago. Group play is really good XP, because you get XP bonuses for the members. And you can stack pots with that. Density and spawn rate needs to be tweaked. People farming, especially solo players, normal dungeons is a flawed system, but these devs up to now should not encourage signs. I mean, solo leveling in general is rough. I know. It's... Once you get past, like, once you get to level 70, it's very slow to 80. And then beyond 80, you're literally just tearing your hair out for no reason. Especially right now when there's no seasonal. There's no season gameplay. So there's no point. You get to level 100 right now, and it's just a flex at this point. Like, there's nothing else to do. You just go 80 to 100 with nothing else to do. That's just how it feels. Horse is terrible. Here we go. Game is making horse is terrible. Fix the horsey. You know what's wrong with it. The PC player, the horse, oh my goodness. Okay, so the horse, I've had instances where I get stuck in town on walls and stuff, and I have to dismount. Galloping, it clips everything. Yeah, it clips everything. It gets caught on everything, and I can't tell you how many times that I've gone out of the city and I'll press the boost button on my horse and nothing happens. Like, it'll like pick up for a second and then it'll slow down. And I know that the speed of the horse on PC is dictated by your mouse, how far your mouse is from the actual horse. So like, if we're like over here, we're full speed, and if we get close, he'll start walking. But there's sometimes when I'm galloping with my mouse out here, and he'll just slow down all of a sudden. Like, he just likes to speed up and slow down at his own rate whenever the hell he wants. And it just doesn't make sense to me. I think the horse needs optimization as well. I agree with that. If you accidentally hover your HUD, right? Oh, it starts walking. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so let's push out here real quick. Let's go out here again. It stops moving when you mouse over your HUD. Okay, yeah, that sucks too. Accidentally... Yeah, the whole mouse movement thing is just a yikes. Okay, we know the horse needs to be fixed in every shape, way, and manner. It's cool that Diablo has a mount system. But, again, I think some good fixes for it in the future would be nice, which I'm sure they'll get on. Barbarian balance early game. From overall feedback I've seen on the forums, and someone mentioning right here, I know Asmongold has mentioned it. I think DM has mentioned it as well. I want to say they've mentioned it. Druid and Barb leveling. Terrible. Terrible pre-50. It's just a nightmare. Better than Path of Exile? We think so? PoE's incredibly... It's just a regular complaint. Superior game. I wouldn't say superior at its current state. I haven't even played a lot of Path of Exile. I've only played... I've only played... I don't even know, 20, 30 hours on Path of Exile, and right now Path of Exile is more put together than D4. Content-wise. But that's because there's no seasons out yet. It just doesn't feel like a full game yet. Dude, Blizzard needs to move into the movie business. I've been saying that for years, man. They do. They need to start making movies with their cinematics. The graphics they have are insane. The question is, how long does it take them to make one of those, though? Suggestion for gear progression. Okay, let's see what Ryan has to say. Add sacred versions of common uniques with less stats and weaker legendary effects. Drop chance should be around the current ancestral unique drop chance. Add sacred versions of common uniques. Okay, in addition to the first point, reduce the drop chance of the common ancestral uniques. Like by a lot. These items should be the main reason why you play up to 100 and beyond. See, I don't know. I don't know. Uniques, I mean, they drop often, but they don't drop that often. And right now, there's no reason to go to 100. If we're being honest. The only reason to go to level 100 was if you're playing a hardcore character and you were doing that 1000 challenge. Right now. Other than that, there's nothing to do. Increase the drop chance of super rare ancestral uniques. This I agree with. I haven't seen one person with razor plate. I don't even know if that thing's ever dropped. Like if Woody's not getting that, no one else is getting that. It's like some people that play just godly amount of hours aren't getting drops of some of the super ancestral uniques. Your character is not worth anything. The only value you can get from this game is enjoying of doing all those things. If you do not enjoy playing your character now, you won't enjoy it at level 100. Okay, so this just boils down to not enough content. That's just all this is saying. There's not enough content in the game right now. Again, dungeons, nightmare dungeons are fun. Regular dungeons are fun, just from like the point of killing things. Some of the challenges in those dungeons though are kind of like slay all the enemies or go kill all or no, like rescue all the prisoners or go kill this certain amount of elites. Yeah, we have Hell Tides, Nightmare Dungeons. There's not a lot to do. Uber Lilith, which I hear doesn't really even drop that much good. And then like world bosses, which don't drop a lot either. Yeah, just some of the content needs to be reworked. It needs to feel more rewarding rather than a chore for some of the content too. Because the combination of lacking content and like how we were talking about the events, right? The one with the ghost, or the one where you had to fight waves of enemies, or I don't know, any of the events. Some of them just feel like chores rather than an actual like, damn, this is going to be a fun event. I would love to do this. If seasons will completely end this game. What are we talking about here? As someone commented, 90% of the player base don't know what each new season will require new character creation. This plus the incredible end game, we have to farm the same tiered or normal dungeons, hell tides, or gathering legions events over and over again. Till complete brain damage will cost the community a lot of players. Which doesn't matter. Not to mention that this endless grind is a game concept in which is least to say outdated. Again, Blizzard, oh sorry Activision, instead of create quality content and using your brains, you went for the easiest and stupidest design. Yeah, well yeah, seasons have been with Diablo for years. Yeah, the guy hasn't... This is obviously his first Diablo game. So supposedly 90% of the player base made uninformed purchase. That's on them. See, dude, just people are... It's a constant... Like, this is what I see in the forums. I was reading a lot through them yesterday, and I'm trying to find some of these posts again. But it's just a constant head bash of... Yeah, it's just a constant head bash of every Diablo and ARPG enjoyer and all of the new people that are coming over that don't understand the concept, and it's just everyone just bashing heads. I think the game's enjoyable. I think it's fun in different aspects. Obviously, I'm complaining about and just expressing my concern on different things because I kind of want to like express those and get them out there. Just in case Diablo 4 ever sees this video, they know that, you know, we're going through forums and we're talking about our concerns. And the more people that talk about it, the more things that'll get fixed, hopefully at a faster rate. It's just a constant bash. And then the understanding of seasons, how they're going to work, and just like the content. I mean, Diablo 4 is a grind game. That's the point. It's a hack and slash. You're just meant to slay. You're meant to get your gear. Just the way it's designed. The old school players know what they signed up for. The people that have never played it before feel like they are being robbed. Yes, exactly. They feel like they got scammed. They put in hours for that character, and then a new season's coming, and they're getting that character torn away from them to be able to participate in the season. And they're so used to every other game where that have seasons, but they're not ARPGs that have seasons, and you get to keep your character and pull that new character into the season, which is not how it works here. Also, I'm looking forward to leaderboards. I love leaderboards. I think leaderboards are a great competitive aspect for any casual or hardcore gamer, or like people that like playing the game a lot. I think leaderboards are a beautiful thing, and it can give you goals. So I'm hoping that they'll have seasonal leaderboards and hardcore seasonal leaderboards and those different types of things that they had in D3. Yeah, and your character's not getting deleted. I think some people misunderstand. They think they're not going to be able to play the same character again. You mean you can, it's just you're not going to be able to participate in the seasonal rewards. But, I mean, new content that's released and stuff you can play. So you could still use your character. More events like Helltides. Let's see what Mad Max has to say. Playing Helltide on World Tier 4 is one of my absolute favorite activities. I love the open world aspect of it and how it allows different choices and how to go about farming cinders. I would love to see more different types of events like Helltides or possible variations of this. Different level Helltides. Stronghold events similar to Hell Tides, but focused around stronghold takeover. Maybe 3 strongholds are taken over and you can recapture them. I like that idea. That's actually a good idea. Other open world events where the maps change during the event. Let's see what other people add on to this. I liked if the mystery chests showed up on the map like others, or at least their potential locations. Well, they wouldn't be a mystery then. I like to see the Hell Tides get progressively more mob density until it's an absolute clown fiesta that's hard to deal with if you aren't grouped up with other players. Culminating in a world boss style fight at last 10 minutes. Like everyone works together to open enough chests or do enough events, then something like a mini world boss spawns. So unsocketing costs gold? Of course it does. I don't even know why. I'm not even clicking on that. The 5% versus the 95%. Okay, here we go. Is the age-old Diablo issue of the 5% progress versus the other 95% progress. Take me, I'm the typical veteran Diablo fan. I work 9 to 12 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week, depending on what's happening in company. I play 2 to 4 hours a day, making sure I spend time with my wife of 26 years and take care of my life, home... Okay, yada yada. So your typical work day has a family. Buffs, nerfs, and game tweaks are generally made at the expense of the 95%. The 5% that have no time to min-max. Oh, sorry. The 5% that have time to min-max, play 16 hours a day, and make a living on YouTube or Twitch greatly affects the ability for the more casual players to make decent progress. I see a vast number of posts about Necros one-shotting bosses, 2-minute Uber Lilith kills. What you have to understand is that the people achieving these feats are either pro gamers or savvy gamers that are able to see the Paragon boards differently and work out the best damage output strategies. Yeah, he's saying total respect for them. Yeah, okay. Grind away game. You just don't. The game is made one way. If there's a group of players that play 12 hours a day, then they're just going to get there faster. It's not a knock on anyone who plays less, but a fact of life. I'm also the 95%. I enjoy the 5%. This is a thing too, especially with these games. Like MMOs and ARPGs, like the average player base is like, I think between the age of 25 and like, what is it, like 40, if not higher. Like a lot of people who play these games now are more relaxed and kind of laid back, and they have a family, they have a full-time job, working 9 to 5. They can only play a couple hours a day, if that. Which, I mean, that doesn't mean we cater to that, but we have to understand that there are... majority of your casual player base and the people that are going to be bringing in a lot of money are those people. Because they're the ones that have the money to be spending a lot on the games. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See all of you in the next one.